Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Friday, June 3rd, 2022. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Thank you very much for joining me yesterday afternoon for our monthly market outlook for June 2022. If you want to rewatch the session, or if you haven't watched it yet, you can click on the link below. We have the recording link there. We discuss a ton of topics, go about 2 hours strong. We talk the ES, YM, NQ, CL, Bitcoin, Ether futures. We also talk stocks like Apple, Amazon, and others. Again, 2 hours strong in that recording, and you can check it out in the link below. So thank you very much for joining me for that session. Here's a look at the ES in the daily time frame. One thing that we continue to see here is a range-bound week so far, and this follows a week in which we had quite a bit of expansion to the upside, closing above the current month's pivot range and now holding in this narrow range right here. Now that's pretty bullish from a perspective of being able to hold gains after last week's strength, but at the same time, all it takes is for a failure here of the 4070 level, the 4050 level here in terms of the previous month's midpoint, and that could open up quite a bit of weakness back to lows. We did have our NFP report come out here this morning with 390K jobs added versus a 325 estimate, and right now seeing a little bit of a pullback after that release of that economic data. We have more economic data coming out here later on this morning, including services PMI and ISM non-manufacturing. So right now, again, any pullback is still an opportunity for bulls to defend, but that 4200 level, very important here. You can see the FOMC key level above from May becoming significant resistance. That resistance right there, 4186, is here. You can see it just can't get beyond that zone. So you're going to have to see price really push through that area in order to open up the upside toward 4300. And again, the ability to hold these gains after that nice wave of strength here is good, but you want to be able to see price bounce and push through that 4200 level to open up another 100 handles to the upside to 4300 in the near term. Alright, let's take a look here at the NQ. The NQ right now showing a little bit of a pullback as well. Failed new high, returning back to the previous session's midpoint, and at the same time here also within a very narrow range overall. Since last week's strength, we've seen the narrow range play out throughout the week, including in the holiday shortened Monday. And again, after strong move to the upside and holding those gains, that's pretty solid, but you got to be able to remain above the 12.5 level. The 12.5 is an important zone right there. 12.450 really is that area of support that held yesterday. A failure there could open up again another round of weakness to new lows, but the ability to hold that zone would be significant in terms of opening up the upside up ahead. 12.6 is kind of the main pivot. We talked about this in the monthly outlook yesterday. 12.6, a key pivot, 13.6 another key pivot, and 11.6 is the lowest pivot. So right now you have about 1,000 point increments here, and it's trying to negotiate the ability to reestablish acceptance back above 12.6, and in doing so you open up 13.6 up above and perhaps trade in here for a bit. So right now still in the range and still could go either way here. Again, a failure at that 12.450 could open up another round of weakness back toward lows if that level gives out. So a big time level there to continue to watch. Crude oil, perhaps the strongest commodity we see right now in a sea of strong commodities, including yesterday copper. Nat gas has been quite strong, and others, but this one right here has been flowing very nicely within the uptrend. Yesterday a very strong rejection, got the 112s and eventually finished above 117, so a big 6 point range rather, and a failed new low of 3-day lows. Still remaining very bullish, stepping on top of the higher value pivot range. And what we mentioned yesterday, especially in the monthly outlook, is from a 1-day perspective, if we pull back toward the previous month's close, that could provide an opportunity to buy the dip and look for a continuation higher. Right now, crude oil is averaging $4 per day of range over the last 10 sessions, $4.50 over the last 5 sessions. And if we can find a strong low this morning, we could add 4 points to that, and that could give us a strong target for today. Right now, the low is 115.23 plus 4 would give us a 119.23. So the 119s could be ahead. This 118 level right here is a very clear 3-day resistance area. Above that level opens up another 1.5 handles to the upside. So right now, the buying the dip idea working out in good fashion here, and we could be looking at further strength ahead for crude oil just on a 1-day basis. But in terms of a swing move, if today continues to remain bullish, we could be looking at a continuation toward 125 over the next week of trading. Taking a look at Bitcoin here, Bitcoin down 2.4% at the moment, still inside this tremendous narrow range. Again, as we mentioned before, when you get this long form narrow range after rejection, there tends to be another continuation to the downside. A big break could lead to a huge move down. Think something like this here, where we had this long form consolidation and then the bottom came out and we saw a massive wave over a 5-day period. That could be very similar to what happens here. This range has at least 10,000 points of energy built into it. So if we break down through 28K, it opens up prices down into the 18K zone. So again, continuing to watch the edge here for Bitcoin. Ether futures here, very similar, down 3.7% right now. This one's approaching 1700. As we mentioned in the monthly outlook yesterday, a violation of 1700 starts to open up the 902 key range below. That's the key range target, 902 half. And it also starts to bring us closer to the previous year's low price of the 700 level. So again, a big time breakdown through 1700 could open up triple digits down below with 902.5 and 700 below. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Happy Friday, everyone. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe. And again, if you missed the monthly outlook yesterday, you can check the link down below. Take care, and I'll see you in the trading room.